Introduction: recognizing suffering and its inner origins. In life, there are times when everything feels unbearably heavy. We have all faced moments when we thought we couldn't go on, overwhelmed by hardship, poverty, and loneliness. At those times, we often ask, why must I endure so much? As someone who has experienced the ups and downs of life and delved deeply into the path of practice, I can share with you that to escape suffering, we must return to ourselves. Only by looking deeply within can we truly change our lives. The lesson of focusing on oneself. In this life, suffering doesn't just come from external factors, but also from losing ourselves in illusions, in the standards and expectations of others. When you start seeking peace from within instead of the outside world, you'll notice a miraculous transformation. True peace doesn't rely on material things or status. It lies in how we understand and accept ourselves. True happiness comes from within. As Buddha taught, be a light unto yourself. This emphasizes that all salvation begins within us. Focusing on oneself is not selfish but about respecting and nurturing our soul to create a stable foundation amid life's storms. Lasting happiness never comes from others or from external things, but from accepting and being content with what we have. Don't fear solitude. It's a moment of strength. Solitude is often misunderstood as a negative state, where people feel empty and vulnerable. But in its true essence, solitude is not the enemy of happiness. On the contrary, when we learn to accept and appreciate it, we realize that solitude is a precious time to understand ourselves more deeply, to grow spiritually, and to rediscover our true selves. Solitude is not a time for us to confine ourselves in sadness or worry. It is an opportunity to reflect on our desires, values, and true nature. Think about artists, writers, or famous philosophers. They often have their most brilliant moments of creativity when they are alone. For example, Vincent van Gogh, the great painter, lived much of his life in solitude. Despite being isolated, suffering deeply, and battling mental illness, it was during these solitary moments that he created timeless masterpieces. He used his loneliness as a source of creative energy, turning complex emotions into art. Spending time alone allows you to escape the noise around you and reconnect with your inner voice. When you are alone, free from the influence of others, you have the chance to truly listen to and understand yourself. Many people in modern society tend to avoid solitude, trying to fill their free time with social activities, electronic devices, or social media. But this often only distracts from deeper issues. When we learn to accept and embrace our alone time, that is when we find true inner strength. Solitude is the perfect environment for self-reflection and self-awareness. You may realize the mistakes you've made, the emotions you've suppressed, or the aspirations you've never dared to face. These moments are opportunities for growth, allowing you to step out of your old self and open up to new understandings of yourself and life. There is a famous saying by philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche: "He who cannot live in solitude cannot be free." Solitude allows you to free yourself from external pressures and expectations, helping you build a more authentic and meaningful life. When solitude becomes part of your self-development journey, you will find yourself stronger in facing life's challenges. Confidence comes from not needing others' approval or relying on them for happiness. Solitude is a loyal friend, helping you realize that everything you need to overcome challenges and find peace is already within you. Stop seeking acceptance from others. In modern culture, we are often caught in a cycle of comparison and the desire to be accepted. From a young age, we learn to see ourselves through the eyes and praises of others. This gradually becomes a habit, and many adults carry within them the anxiety of how they are perceived by those around them. But the truth is, happiness does not come from how others see you. It comes from how you see yourself. Let's consider a simple example. If you wear an outfit you love, but someone criticizes it as unsuitable, do you lose confidence and feel uncomfortable? If so, it shows that you have allowed others' opinions to dictate your feelings and self-confidence. On the other hand, if you truly love the outfit and feel confident in your choice, criticism won't hurt you. Acceptance and self-love must come from within, not from external judgments. A teaching of the Buddha, love yourself as you would love all living beings, emphasizes that self-love is not selfish, but a necessity for building a meaningful life. When you accept yourself and appreciate the good things within you, you'll naturally feel deserving of happiness. Your mind no longer dwells on trying to please others. Instead, you focus on growing and living authentically. In Western culture, many famous figures emphasize the importance of self-acceptance. Oprah Winfrey once said, "Become the best version of yourself, rather than a second version of someone else." To truly live a meaningful life, you must understand that your worth is not determined by compliments or approval from others. Those who truly care about you will love your true self, not because you fit their expectations. Letting go of the need for external acceptance also frees you from societal pressures. You no longer need to chase anyone's standards or compare yourself to those around you. This brings a true sense of freedom, where you can grow and flourish without being bound by anyone else's criteria. Facing and overcoming rejection. Rejection is an unavoidable part of life, and from a deeper perspective, it serves as a challenge that helps us grow. When we are rejected, we often feel devalued or unworthy, which can harm our self-esteem and cause emotional pain. However, rejection is not always negative. Instead of seeing it as a failure, consider it an opportunity to explore and improve yourself. For instance, a person looking for a job who faces repeated rejections might start feeling inadequate. In such moments, it's easy to blame oneself and think they're not good enough or lack value. But when viewed differently, rejection can be a reminder to reflect on oneself and improve certain skills. It might be that they're not fully prepared for that specific role, or maybe there's a different opportunity that aligns better with their abilities and personality. Many Eastern philosophies teach that rejection is like pebbles that hinder our path, but if we're patient and learn to navigate through them, these pebbles ultimately help us become stronger. Imagine an athlete training to hurdle obstacles. To overcome each hurdle, they not only need strength but also skill and flexibility. Rejection is a similar hurdle that helps us refine and complete our life skills. Another example is in personal relationships. Being rejected in love, though painful, can teach us the valuable lesson of self-love. It can remind us that, rather than placing all our happiness on someone else, the most important thing is to love ourselves first. When we understand our own value, rejection will no longer shake our self-respect. Remember, rejection doesn't mean failure. It's part of life and a chance to grow. Accepting rejection with gratitude allows us to move forward with ease and continue our journey. In the end, looking back, we'll realize that every rejection helped us grow in some way, gradually leading us closer to happiness and fulfillment. Creating an invisible bond that prevents us from living authentically. Sometimes in our daily lives, we worry too much about how others judge us, from the way we dress, the way we speak, to personal decisions. However, if we spend too much time and energy on these thoughts, we end up losing ourselves. A common example is when choosing a career. Many people follow a path that their family or society expects of them rather than listening to their heart. Someone might dream of being an artist, but becomes a lawyer only to avoid disappointing their family. In doing so, they lose their passion and feel their life lacks meaning. When we focus too much on others' opinions, we easily bury our dreams and desires under societal pressures. The concern about others' opinions also frequently surfaces in social relationships. We often feel uneasy if someone criticizes us, or even compliments can create pressure to constantly meet their standards. From a Buddhist perspective, others' thoughts and judgments are not permanent and often reflect personal views rather than our actual value. In reality, most people are too focused on their own lives and struggles to pay much attention to us. Instead of fearing criticism, focus on self-improvement, living by the values and dreams you believe in. A person who is sincere and confident in themselves will always be an inspiration to those around them. Others' opinions cannot alter your true worth. That worth lies within you and how you live your life. Protecting inner peace. Protecting inner peace is a crucial act, requiring patience and a deep awareness of oneself. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel pressured to please everyone around us. Family, friends, colleagues, and even those we've never met, but who have a significant influence on us through social media. When we constantly strive to meet everyone's expectations, we lose our inner balance, plunging ourselves into states of stress and anxiety. Ask yourself, how many times have you sacrificed your own needs just to keep others happy? How many times have you felt frustrated but held back from expressing it, fearing to upset someone? Take, for example, a person who takes on too many responsibilities at work. Every time a colleague asks for help, he agrees, even though he's already overwhelmed. He worries that saying no would make others think he's selfish or unfriendly. Over time, the pressure from excessive workload and responsibilities gradually takes a toll on his mental health. Ultimately, this doesn't only impact him. It affects his productivity as well, as no one can work effectively when their mind is exhausted and burdened. Inner peace must be prioritized and protected. This means learning to say no when necessary. It's not a selfish act. It's a way to maintain balance within yourself. When you set healthy boundaries, you create space for personal growth and are better able to give to others from a place of stability. With inner peace, you'll find yourself handling challenges with clarity and ease because you're no longer weighed down by the need to satisfy everyone. Consider another example in personal relationships. Perhaps you've experienced moments when you agreed with everything someone said just to maintain harmony, even if you didn't entirely agree. In reality, disagreements don't have to lead to conflict. Sometimes, openly sharing differing views builds a relationship on understanding and mutual respect. When you prioritize your inner peace, you communicate more honestly and genuinely, not out of obligation but from a place of true commitment. By protecting your inner peace, you can also set an example for others. Your calm and balanced attitude will be contagious, creating an environment where others can also find a sense of calm and self-respect. You don't only become stronger yourself, but you also encourage others to live true to themselves. Remember, you don't have to carry everyone else's burdens. Inner peace is a precious gift you deserve to receive and protect. One of the primary sources of suffering is our attempt to control things beyond our reach. We want people to understand us, agree with our views, and behave the way we think is right. But the truth is, none of us can fully control others or our external circumstances. When we try, we only trap ourselves in a cycle of disappointment. Consider a simple example in relationships. You might want loved ones to always support your decisions, but this doesn't always happen. They may have different viewpoints, and sometimes these differences can lead to tension and disagreements. If you keep trying to force others to change their thoughts, you'll only heighten frustration and hurt for both sides. Instead, focus on your own response. You can choose to listen, understand, and accept differences, which not only helps maintain the relationship, but also brings you inner peace. Another everyday example is in the workplace. Perhaps you're unhappy with your boss's decisions or company policies, but if you keep trying to change things outside of your authority, you're likely to feel frustrated and stressed. Instead, focus on your job, doing your best within your limits. When you master your thoughts and reactions, you'll find life becoming lighter, free from being caught up in things beyond your control. Ultimately, remember that peace and happiness come from accepting that you can only control yourself. As the Buddha taught, the only thing you can truly master is yourself. When you understand and practice this, you'll realize that you have more energy to focus on what truly matters. Concentrate on the actions, feelings, and thoughts you can control because this is what will define the quality of your life. Understand that others have their own struggles. We often think that everyone around us is watching and judging us, but in truth, they are also struggling with their own challenges. Understanding this, you'll feel relieved, no longer worried about others' gaze or thoughts, and focused on your own life.
Understand
Let go of comparison. Comparing yourself to others is one of life's biggest traps. Don't let yourself fall into the cycle of comparison, as it only brings disappointment and suffering. Each person has their unique journey, unlike any other. What you need is to focus on your path, be grateful, and appreciate what you have rather than looking at others and feeling unsatisfied. Develop the inner self rather than chasing external recognition. Finally, instead of seeking praise or recognition from the outside, focus on developing yourself from within. When you build value from what is true within yourself, you no longer depend on anyone else's opinion. Inner development helps you find the meaning of life, guiding you to lasting happiness and peace. Conclusion: the journey within. Life is a long journey, full of challenges but also filled with opportunities to explore oneself. When you choose to focus on yourself, you step onto the path to true freedom and peace. Remember, happiness is not a destination but a journey. You are the one writing the story of your life, and only you truly understand what you want and need. Through this journey, you will find that every day is an opportunity to become a better version of yourself, to live more truthfully, and to truly enjoy life without being bound by external things.